Welcome to the Penguin Podcast, brought to you by Penguin Facilities Management.
Thanks for joining us, David. Been really excited for this one. Obviously, we've worked together on a couple of projects as your FM partner on some really outstanding fit out works in London. Raw fit out. Please tell us about David. Please tell us about Raw. What you're about, kind of projects you're working on, and what's your mission?
Well, so I've recently been appointed now as Director of Inspiration.
Yeah,
regaining the great title. My duty very much to build the company momentum, what they're already doing, which is great, but going out there finding new projects. Like I say, we worked together on projects before, so it's just keeping into the relationship with people, ensuring that they're kept up to date with where I'm at, where I'm heading, what I'm looking to do. Raw Fit Out, they are a high performance fit out operator covering all sorts of ground, right through from commercial, education, lab space. You know, it's a really nice opportunity to work with. Also, their reach is a little bit bigger, so they can work a little bit more regional than some of the offices that I worked for before, where they're more restrictive. So that's been really very good. Currently, out on site at the moment over at 6 Bevis Marks doing an amazing project, which is very AI-led.
Yeah.
It's a great show space.
It's amazing, been there this morning.
You've seen it this morning.
Yeah.
And it's a proper jewel in the crown for Raw Fit Out. I think it's going to make an incredible case study.
Yeah.
And I think it's a nice opportunity to showcase that to everybody within industry and my reach, really to bring in more business for the company.
Definitely a flagship.
Yeah, it's very good.
Definitely, yeah, pretty impressive, very impressive. So, I've been down there this morning, so I know what the finished article looks like.
Yeah.
But beyond the finish, what makes a successful fit out?
Obviously, crucial element on it is the end result. For us, it's the client satisfaction when the client walks in at that very end period and can set up and work pretty much immediately. There's a number of faculties that you have to consider when you're doing these things. We're very responsive. We understand the client. We take that whole very seriously. It's all about them. So we listen, we make recommendation. We're able to introduce partners into varying levels of the project itself, and really just to do a very good job with military precision and deliver it right through to the end and make the client feel satisfied, and so they're kept up to date with knowledge all the way through from start to finish. Yeah. And really there is no finish.
Yeah. So the key thing, I think, from what you've just said there is communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
You know, from start to finish, having that communication from client, contractors, suppliers, your own team, through to then the partners like ourselves when you finish that. So communication between all them roles and the specialists involved in live project, that definitely is an important factor.
That's a major factor, and I think the way that we handle that is such a close relationship with the client that we can pass that information on to everybody that we're working with, like you say, from design concept right through to office management and so forth. So everyone's very clear, no burden to the client other than that they know that they're in a very safe pair of hands with Raw Fit Out, and that the job is going to be seamlessly done and presented, and that they know that they're going to get everything from the timescale, the budget, right through to the very end of completion when they go in and they just walk into that office space and be able to work and enable them whilst we're doing that fit out, that they can concentrate on their core activity, knowing that we're there taking responsibility and bringing in the right people for the right job.
Yeah. So the right people for the right job.
Yep.
Yeah. So when choosing your partners and your service providers, your contractors, what do you look for in that working relationship?
I think it's like anything. We are a company that is very client focused. We're very driven. We're very professional. We're looking for companies that offer those same similar.
The mirror.
The mirror, almost. People like yourself that we know that we can trust, that we can implement, introduce to the client. They still feel that they are genuinely being taken care of throughout the whole process. Part of the family, yes, it is. And that really works well for us. So we want people that are will do, can do attitude. And that is everything. You know, the client satisfaction of that end piece, or where they say that they felt that they've been, I don't know, what's the word I'm not even looking for, that it's an experience for the client that they're super satisfied with. So
that's it.
That's important.
Fit out can be very price driven. What's your opinion on that race sometimes to the bottom? Is it a race that Raw want to be in? Do they they make themselves stand out so they don't get dragged into that race? Yeah. What's your stance on that race to the bottom when everything's based on price?
I think we differentiate a little bit that we are owner led, and that kind of helps as well because it makes us more amenable. We are an immediate response. Price, we're very good at Raw. We can adjust. We can look at things and take things away, but we're constantly looking to add value to the client. In the race, we're thereabouts. You know, we're winning business. So I think people buy from people at the end of the day. They want result. They want not just what you say on the tin, but do you deliver it? Yeah. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're delivering what we're saying we're going to achieve. Yeah. And I think some people, price is relevant, but I don't think we're seeing too much of an effect on it. I think what they're really wanting is the service. Yeah. And, you know, somebody that can do what they say. Yeah.
No. So you're clearly pulling the right fish out of.
I think so. I think it's certainly going in the right direction.
Yeah. No, that's good. So clients, they have some great imaginations, but is it always practical? Yeah.
Look, I think it comes down to like design as well. I think there's whilst you can design something very exciting and very ahead of, does it work? You know, so putting it in, how does it really work as a working space for the company? So
is it practical?
Is it somewhere that you can work and do your daily duties? So I think there's an element of, we look at each individual. We don't just go and replicate the same thing over and over again. We take individual client as their unique. And that really works well for us.
Yeah, because we know clients, architects, designers, can be imaginative.
They can.
And sometimes it doesn't meet the practicality.
No.
It could put us on the edge of caution for compliance. And is it long term? Is it maintainable? So how do you manage that?
Yeah, I think it's from the top. I think it's being clear, concise with information, where we're heading. Like you said, when we're looking at partners, how does that kind of work? I think sometimes there's a case, you'll appreciate this, too many cooks. I think one voice is a good voice that can lead that. Stuart, MD, being from a military background, kind of presents that very nicely, and the fact that he's got respect from it. I think as long as everybody's bought into that, as that's where we're heading and where we're going, I don't see that as too much of a problem. I think if there was that case of any ambiguity, then we'd probably squash it and find another route to market.
Yeah, definitely. So we spoke a couple of times. Obviously, we've got a great relationship. We've got a great partnership. So where does, and this is more probably for them who are listening, where does fit out and facilities management overlap? and how important is that relationship post handover.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've done that walk around today.
we have.
Yeah, we now know what is required.
Yeah.
We now know where, you know, the land lies. We know what needs to be done. Yeah, but how important is that for you as a business?
Well, it's imperative. I mean, right through from, obviously when we're out there and we're designing space, I don't think we certainly take on board of that next step level of a handover to somebody such as yourselves, do you know what I mean, on the facilities management. So we don't design for the now, we design for the future, and also for that longevity with the client as well, that we can bring in people of you and what you offer to take over that lead. So it's hugely important, and there's so much to consider, even when we're designing a design principle on a property, from right through from lighting, how that works, how it lasts, the furniture that we might provide, or services or products, that they've got the general wear and tear, really, rather than something that needs replacing quite often, something that's going to see its due course and lifetime.
Yeah, and I think that's the partnership is very forward thinking.
Yeah.
Because we take on buildings that will have had a new fit out, or they're newly constructed. We don't receive O&Ms. We have no contact to the person who has done the fit out or has constructed that building. Sometimes we actually even have to do our own asset surveys, because the lack of information is so poor. So that post relationship, it's two ways.
Yes.
Because you're keeping your client satisfied after you've left the building, but you're just doing it through a different avenue. And I think that's really important, because a lot of when the fit out industry is known as get in, get out. So I admire, obviously, you guys, that you've taken that stance, and you actually, there's a level of care and aftercare there.
Oh, hugely so.
And keeps the client happy till the next time, by obviously somebody being your eyes and ears after you've left site. So what separates a good fit out company to a great fit out company?
Well, I personally feel that a good fit out company will just deliver. I think a great fit out company, as I said for our conversation today, is somebody that is actually there for the client consistently, able to offer fresh new ideas, bring them to the table, somebody that won't add burden but adds results, problem solutions. We get them in everyday life, but it's how quickly you respond to that. And that's kind of where we're separating. You mentioned before, we're forward thinkers in the fact of that next stage. So like you're talking about O&Ms and the walk around, we've deliberately done it early enough, so then you can kind of ask those questions that may have been forgotten. And I think that's really important, and that's what will keep the longevity of a client and want them to keep coming back and use you as an individual. And I think that's really where Raw are really taking leadership and rising in the ranks.
No, and I totally agree. Without being cliche, because we talk about it a lot, sustainability. So there is a lot of talk at the moment, and necessary talk. We need to be talking about sustainability, but smart buildings, sustainable buildings. Does that ever influence some of your decisions on projects? Is that something the clients are asking for at this moment in time?
Yeah, I think working through it, sustainability being the buzzword, hot on everyone's lips, we've got a responsibility to lead from this one. So right through from being on site for waste, making certain it doesn't end up in landfill, the selection of products that we choose for, that there's a certain amount of research that goes into this. Furniture, everyone's pushing for it now. And, it used to be a value add-on to a company, whereas now it's a corporate responsibility. So, yes, we take that very seriously indeed.
Yeah, no. Are we seeing a push towards automation, smart technology, in your world?
100% so. So following on from our meeting this morning, the next client that we spoke to, we raised exactly what we spoke about this morning, and it was of interest, and it's going to be a big game changer moving forward. And as we know, everyone's got to adhere to it. Everyone's got to pay attention to it. We want offices to work seamless. We want them to work functional, and by introducing the smart way of working, that's only going to add value to any company and save them money.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, what's next? What projects is coming up at Raw? What exciting things?
What I'm doing right now. Lots of great conversations out there at the moment. Some very exciting things. I think it's an opportunity for Raw to grow. As I say, the primarily function is commercial office space, but I'm teaching them about the way that London is working at the moment with lab tech space, even down to dental practices. There's a whole remit of different things that at the end of the day does take fit out. So we're talking on a number of great opportunities at the moment.
Yep.
Right through from banking institutes, education. It's a very exciting time, really.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of fit out companies out there. So how does that make me feel? Market. It's competitive. I'm fortunate. I'm a well-known person in industry. I think whether that be for the right or wrong reason, I don't know. But I've got a brand, and it's now at the point of aligning the DHS brand with Raw Fit Out and making that real strength and move forward.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've grown up a bit, Mike.
Do we ever? I don't know. Do we ever? But no. Well, that's great. I'm sure that's give people food for thought when they're choosing the right fit out company.
Yeah.
I appreciate your support.
Thank you, mate.
And I look forward to seeing what the next month holds.
Perfect.
So, but thank you.
No worries.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Mike.